What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna take a look at this all-new 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee L. Big shout out and thank you to Feeney, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram for providing this SUV for today's video. Definitely take a look at their website, link down below. And the model that we're looking at today is the Altitude 4x4, finished off in bright white and has an MSRP at $49,900. Underneath the hood of this new generation Jeep Grand Cherokee L, you're gonna find a naturally aspirated 3.6 liter 6-cylinder engine. This V6 pumps out 290 horsepower with 257 pound-feet of torque, and it's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. It sends the power to all four wheels through the 4-wheel drive system, and with a curb weight around 4,700 pounds and running on a 23-gallon fuel tank, you're looking at 18 miles per gallon in the city with 25 out on the highway. The overall length is 204.9 inches with a wheelbase at 121.7. Height is 70.9 and width is 77.5 inches. Approach angle comes in at 30 degrees and breakover is 24 degrees with ground clearance around 11 to 12.5 inches. The Grand Cherokee L can also tow up to 6,200 pounds and has payload capacity at 1,200 pounds. Moving to the exterior styling now, the Altitude package gives it a blacked out design all around, and contrasting against this white, it has a really cool sporty look. These headlights are sunken into the bodywork, and they even get an LED daytime running light up top with the chrome and black housings inside. All gloss black trim underneath the headlights, leading to the 7-bar grille. You can see how everything looks with a lot of mesh. We get a blacked out Jeep badge up on top, then more black trim in the lower portion of this front bumper. You can see the gloss black as well as the plastic underneath that, then some trim on the farther sides and more openings in the lower portion of this bumper. The hood also has some nice lines in it to really give it that modern appearance, and I think the front end comes together very well. Jeep did a really nice job styling this. We also get a set of 20-inch wheels in all four corners, finished off in a gloss black. They're a 5-spoke design, contrasting very nicely. You can see the plastic black trim running around the fender arches as well as the lower portion of these doors. And then we get a blacked out Grand Cherokee logo with a blacked out American flag. I like the sharp lines all throughout it. You can see one going from these taillights all the way to the headlights. And then we get gloss black mirror caps with more gloss black trim, LED turn signal all integrated, then all gloss black trim around these windows, and then body color door handles. You can even see how the trim cuts through the body panel in the rear. Then we have matching roof rails. The overall side profile is very proportional looking, and it is a little bit longer than the standard Grand Cherokee. This vehicle, the L, is a 3rd row, so you have almost an extra foot back here, but it's still proportional and has a really sporty look. And you can see how that side trim cuts its way down into this rear glass panel. We also get a shark fin antenna up top, an integrated spoiler with an integrated 3rd brake light. Then we get LED taillights. They have a smoked out housing sunken into the bodywork with a little bit more red. Jeep logo is blacked out with 4x4 and L over on this left side. Then we have a lot of sharp lines running through the rear end with a plastic bumper trim, reflectors, as well as parking sensors. So there's a good look at the exterior with the Grand Cherokee L. It's a really sporty looking SUV. We also have remote start on the key fob. You got the Jeep logo. If I go ahead and lock it, and then double tap on the start stop, the V6 will roar to life. And you can hear it a little bit. Pretty quiet, but has a nice little tone to it. Pressing it once, it can shut off. And then keeping the key fob in my pocket, I can just grab the door handle, automatically unlock it, and check out the interior. This particular spec gets the global black leather interior with the micro suede inserts. Moving to the door panel, you can see it's all finished off in black. We got this dark gray trim piece, an aluminum colored release handle, then all the window and mirror controls with lock and unlock, some of the black smooth leather and color contrast stitching, a grab handle, and then some storage up front. We also get power controls on the seat with your lumbar support. And then you can see the contrast stitching on the smooth leather and this really nice perforated design for the micro suede. It's a really sporty looking trim level for sure. Stitching on the headrest, and then a really nice 3-spoke steering wheel with leather, stitching, silver trim, and that gunmetal trim. And then now inside, keeping my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and fire it up. We get an LCD gauge cluster as well as the center infotainment screen. You can see we have our digital speedometer right in the center with a tach, and then using this control panel on this left side, you can control what you see in the center screen. Driver's assistant information comes up as well. Then Then we have a few of the vehicle informations, vitals, and things like that. We have trip information, audio, any messages or settings, and then back to our main screen. We also have some Bluetooth controls on this left side, and then all the cruise control settings with the forward pacing. We even get some steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. They are very small, it's just about this big back there. Have a cool look though, and then behind them, there's actually more controls for radio and volume. We have the stalk on the right side for all the wiper blade controls, and then the turn signal stalk on the left side. All of the headlight controls are down on this left side, as well as an electronic parking brake. Then we get some of this trim and leather running across the dashboard. Has a really cool design to it. I like the stitching as well. That same dark trim with the silver accent. Then we get 2 more air vents up in center. Then we have the auto start stop feature, lane keeping, traction control and hazards, and then a sport mode button and parking sensors. This infotainment screen has a lot of information that will come up on it. We have all the climate control right now. You can easily adjust your temperature, heated seats and steering wheel, different zones, more of the air conditioning controls and fan speed. Then we have our home icon on the bottom left. You can configure it to have different items. We have audio that can come up as well, your cell phone integration. Then you can tap this and you get a lot of different settings all within this vehicle. You can scroll down, adjust pretty much everything in this. We have the apps icon as well with a few more items. Then if I go ahead, put my foot on the brake and put us into reverse, our backup camera pops up. Pretty HD as well. You have a plus and minus. You can see your trailer hitch a little bit better, and you get guidelines, and then parking sensors pop up in the center. Then going back into park, and then we have all the physical climate controls down below the screen for the steering wheel, the seats. You have temperature and fan speed, and when you adjust anything, it all comes up on the screen, which is a really cool touch to have everything nicely integrated. More controls are down there. Then you can press this, it opens up, and we have some storage down here with USB ports. Nicely close that, all finished off in the piano black. We have 2 cup holders in the center, and then more of this black leather and stitching. Opening this up, we get a little bit of storage space, and then grabbing the lower handle, we have even more storage space down below. And then taking a look at the glove box now, has a pretty good amount of space in there. And then one last look at the newest generation for the Grand Cherokee. Really sporty with the altitude package. I think that's a pretty cool design, and the overall layout of everything is really nicely done. And then moving to the rear seat space, if I grab the door handle and open it up, door panel is finished off just like we saw up front. And then the rear seats are captain's chairs with the same leather and micro suede. We have adjustable armrests in them as well. Really nice look. And then there's even cup holders and storage down below with USB ports, air vents, all the climate control settings, and then even storage on the backs of these front seats. These seats do have quite a few configurations. You can grab this and get these up out of the way for easy access to get into the 3rd row. You have 2 seats back there, as you can see. Manually pull it back, and you can pull this handle, and it'll fold down nice and flat for easy storage. So sitting now in the 2nd row of the Grand Cherokee L, you have a lot of configurations. I can recline the seat quite a lot, wow. And I even pull it back to have a ton more legroom. I'm 5'11" sitting back here, and this 2nd row is a nice place to be. Even with the driver's seat set at my height, I have maybe like 8 inches of knee room. My feet fit really well, and I have plenty of headroom. Nice big window, and then the armrest in the center is a pretty cool touch. And there's even enough space to actually crawl through the center and get into this 3rd row seat. So sitting back here now with this other seat that I was just in the recline position, not too much legroom, but sitting with this one a little bit more normal, I still have some good amount of space back here. You get 2 seats back here. Now these don't recline or anything, so they're not crazy big like in a Wagoneer or something, but honestly at 5'11" sitting back here, I do have enough room to comfortably be here. I could probably handle a little bit of time in here. We have a cup holder and 2 USB ports, and then even climate control vents, and then I like how you get the little Jeep logo all integrated into the glass. So pretty good 3rd row vehicle for not being crazy big at the same time. And then from here I can easily grab this handle manually and get this seat up and out of my way. And then moving on to the cargo space, I can double tap the button on the key fob. Power liftgate is going to automatically open up. And even with the 3rd row up, you get a lot of storage space back here. It's pretty impressive to see for the size of this vehicle. You can open this up and we got a lot more hidden storage space. And then behind these seats, you have grab handles as well as latches. If I pull this latch, headrest goes down and we can easily push it forward and fold the 3rd row out of the way nice and easily. So just doing that to both sides. all manual, which honestly makes it very quick and easy like that. You get a little bit more storage areas on the left and right side. And then after manually folding down the second row, you can see just how much more space and interior room there is in the Grand Cherokee L. Like I said, these seats fold down nice and flat. Really makes this a practical SUV. Alright guys, so we are setting off now in the Jeep Grand Cherokee L. Now I just drove the Grand Cherokee, which is the 2-row version. The L, obviously, you get that extra length and a 3rd row seat. So first off, noticeably when I look behind me, there's a lot more vehicle back here than the normal Grand Cherokee, which makes a lot of sense. Obviously, that's why they've done that with 2 different versions. But with this, I really do like the Grand Cherokee. I felt like it's always been one of the staple mid-size SUVs. It's not the biggest thing, not the smallest vehicle either, but it just kind of gives you that good blend of everything. This one, not a fully loaded, it's not even a limited, it's not an overland. Obviously not any type of SRT, but this is kind of a fun, sporty one, mid-level, still with plenty of technology and luxury features. And then, it's a nice vehicle overall. So we have a lot of potholes right now. Ride quality, it's pretty stable and pretty solid. I think the Grand Cherokee's always been just such a good platform. You can feel the bumps and it goes over them all, but honestly, it's really good feeling. And now onto a nice smooth road, we can kind of play with more of the comfort. The power seats, you get a lot of different adjustments. Really comfortable, just a daily drive, family SUV, things like that. This is just a good normal SUV, cruise control and everything, just to be comfortable and have the technology. I love how Jeep is now doing all these gauge clusters with the digital screen, the big screen in the center. It really does make this feel like a much more modern vehicle. And it's simple to use, there's not a million buttons, it's super easy and convenient, and the fonts and everything are easy to see and easy to read. So you don't have to be sitting there trying to figure out what to do. So you can easily just click on something, see what you got to do, and it's just really intuitive. And the fact that you still get the physical buttons, I think that's an important aspect as well. So let's hit the sport mode button. Let's see what that does a little bit. Comes up on the gauges a little bit, and we'll use the paddle shifters. It's got plenty of power to get up and go. Obviously not crazy fast or anything like that, but up to 60 miles an hour. Transmission's really responsive, and it utilizes the power really well. Having a transmission like this with the engine, it really makes it to where you can always be in the power band, and it's pretty responsive. Sport mode really just gives you a little bit more throttle response, not really anything crazy, but if you're going to be hitting some trails or something with this, sport mode will give it a little bit better feedback when doing anything like that. But then back to just normal driving, visibility and everything, really good view around. Obviously I'm used to that other Grand Cherokee now, so there's a little bit longer back there, but the window's large, that 3rd window, so you can see really well with no blind spots or anything like that. And the used materials is pretty nice in here as well. I like the leather material. I doubt it's real leather, but it does feel nice, it looks nice. So not a bad vehicle to drive. I think that's the only way to go back into automatic though, is go to neutral to drive. I'm not 100% sure on that. But let's do some cruise control, play with what this one has, activate it. We have the lane keeping, you can see the green and yellow that pops up, and it can come up in a full screen right there. So nice that you do get some good technology in this. No steering intervention it looks, but at least we have the forward distance pacing. And if we go over the line a little bit, basically just changes the color to let you know what you're doing. But like I said, great view around. You're nice and high up too, and I like SUVs that feel like this. It's not just a crossover like some smaller ones. This is a real SUV. It's a tough vehicle, and really good view around. So much seating. I'm really surprised the 3rd row. I wasn't expecting this to be that roomy back there. And I just also drove the Grand Wagoneer, which is a ridiculously huge size vehicle. This is not too far behind in size. So Jeep's doing a good job making everything useful, and if they're going to give you a 3rd row, they're actually going to give you a really usable 3rd row, which is an important aspect. And then getting back up to speed and just automatic. Transmission does shift really smooth, and then I like everything that you can see through this main screen in the center. You see so many different aspects. But yeah, I think that is about it then for the 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee L. The Altitude is a pretty fun, sporty trim level for this vehicle. I think really the Grand Cherokee is probably one of the best SUVs for this price point, you know, around that $50,000 mark. You get a lot of different options as well. You can tone it down if you don't want this many features and this price point, or you can tone it up a little bit if you want even more nice aspects. So that is it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, stay tuned for plenty more content to come. And then big shout out and thank you once again to Feeney, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram. Thank you to them for providing this Jeep for today's video. Definitely check out their website, linked down below. And now we're gonna finish up the video just going on some gravel because we are in a Jeep and this is where they like to live. But anyway guys, I will see you all in the next video.